Yum, 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 yum.
Welcome to the Taj Mahal on Water Street in downtown St. John's. The Taj Mahal, as you might expect by its name, is an Indian restaurant. It's become a Water Street landmark over the years. Inside, it features seating for about 50 customers, and at the back of the restaurant is the tandoori oven, where the chefs here at Taj Mahal cook behind glass, and you can watch them as they do their magic. Hello, I'm Karl Wells, food critic for The Telegram.
And I'm Chef Steve Watson of Central Dairies.
Steve, it's exciting to be here at this Indian restaurant.
And the smells and the aromas, I know it's a first for us, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And we've got some amazing food laid on here, which I can't wait to talk into. We've got an exciting show. Lynn Sparkes is with us today.
And she's the executive director from the Janeway Foundation, and she's got a very busy season coming up.
She's going to tell us everything that goes into putting the Janeway telethon together. It's going to be an exciting show. And she is going to be dining on
Stuffed pork chops, beautiful, nice dressing and everything else. It's going to be great.
I love stuffed pork chops. And later in the program, we're going to the College of the North Atlantic
To see Brian Albert and Chef James Dillon, and they're going to be doing something different with food, aren't they, Carl?
Molecular cooking, it's called, Stephen, and this is where we use substances that ordinarily you wouldn't be using in your home kitchen, but it's used to create some very interesting effects with food, so you're going to want to stand by for that one. Anyway, let's tuck into this food. Let me explain what I've got in front of me here. This is chicken tikka. Look at the color of it, isn't it amazing? This was done in the one of the tandoori ovens they have here at Taj Mahal, and it's sitting on a bed of cabbage. What do you have?
I have an assorted podgy, I've got some cauliflower, some potato and some onion with a tamarind sauce.
Tamarind sauce. Sounds wonderful. Now, let's see what this food tastes like.
Absolutely.
Wait, tuck into this.
Heaven.
Steve, I think it's important for restaurants to regulate the temperature in their restaurants so that it's not too hot, not too cold, because it affects the dining experience.
You can't please all the people all the time, that's for sure.
I hear you. Well, our guest in the One Chef One Critic kitchen today is a true professional. She's a leader. She's an executive. She heads up one of the largest charitable foundations in all of Newfoundland and Labrador. Please welcome the executive director of the Janeway Children's Hospital Foundation, Ms. Lynn Sparkes.
Very funny. What an intro.
How are you?
How am I going to live up to that?
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see.
Right.
Listen, before we get into what Steve's going to describe for us, very quickly tell us, what does an executive director of the Janeway Foundation do?
I order everybody around. I delegate. I got
said you were a
someone in
leader.
charge of the telethon, someone in charge of Christmas Appeal, and I just orchestrate.
Yeah, I'm sure there's more to it than that. Anyway, Steve, you've got some fine-looking pork chops there, my son.
Absolutely, Carl, and I hope you like pork,
I do.
Lynn. So what I'm going to make today is a stuffed pork chop, and as you can see I've got these beautiful 1.5 inch thick pork chops, and we're going to be stuffing that with some pecans, some celery, some apricots. I'm going to finally chop some onions there, and so let's get cracking, shall we?
Yes,
There we
I think
go.
we should. Yes.
So first of all, I'm going to put some of this beautiful spyglass butter into the pan again. Lynn, I'll just get you to stir that around.
We love our butter on this show.
Oh, we certainly do, we certainly do.
I ran into a viewer the other day, actually, who said, geez, you guys use a lot of butter on that show.
As long as it's spyglass butter. And there we go, and then we'll just add some celery into there.
But of course, Lynn, we don't eat like this every day.
No, no, no.
What?
It's all
What?
healthy eating.
What am I doing?
You just keep stirring
No,
around.
but what am I
Oh, sorry.
cooking?
Well, what we're making is the dressing.
Okay.
So we've got the celery going in there, and then we're going to put the apricots as well. And you can use dark raisins or something like that in there if you wish.
It's an exotic, exotic stuffing. Look, he's got apricots in there.
And
God
we're-
knows what he's going to put in next.
Yeah, oh, well, what we're going to do now, we're going to put some pecans, chopped
There we
pecans
go.
in there as well. So
Okay. So this isn't your typical Newfoundland
No.
stuffing.
we will be adding some
like to be
savoury
adventurous.
into there, though.
Okay.
Some savoury. So, and I'll just cut a couple of onions in here.
You're not going to use too much savory now.
No,
right?
no, no. Because
Yeah.
I don't want to take away from the other
Because I
flavours.
find quite often when people use savory, they use too much of it. I think you know, savory has such an intense taste. You should only use a little bit.
And if you use too much, it makes
It repeats.
No,
repeats,
but I
yeah.
wasn't going to say that.
Oh.
I was going to say that
Let me
it
just
makes
turn
it
that up a
look
little bit.
green.
Sorry, Lynn.
It makes it look green.
I had a turkey dinner on
Yeah.
Sunday and I put in too much and
Yeah.
the stuffing is green.
Oh, I
And
see.
that's
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
But I ate it anyway.
Yeah. It's very powerful, though, eh? It's a very powerful herb.
So I'll write it then. There
we go.
Is that enough, do you think, Karl?
See, he's not going to pay a blind bit of attention to me. Look, he puts in the whole spoonful. Anyway, go ahead, stir it,
Stir it, stir it, stir it.
Is this still on? It's not.
Yeah, it'll come up now.
Okay.
Do you want me to bring up the heat?
Yes.
Okay, we'll bring up the heat for you.
There. Excellent.
So when is the telethon this year?
June 6th and June 7th.
June 6th, June 7th on CBC.
CBC. Yeah.
Good.
25
Yep.
years.
And how much money did you raise last year?
The top board last year said about 2.2.
Wow,
Now, you know
2.2
what that means,
million.
right? 2.2.
Yeah.
2.2 million means that's everything that we've received throughout the year. And
Right.
say, for instance, we have, just trying to think of someone, a same day. Like they do all of our mailings for us and all of our
Right.
deliveries. So if we were to spend that money, it'd be about $40,000.
Wow.
So we don't spend it, so they come on television and they present us with the $40,000 check in kind, and that goes
yeah.
up on the top.
Yeah. So that's what you call an in-kind
That's
donation.
an in-kind
Yeah.
donation.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing here now, Karl, is I'm going to add this to our gravy because I want to make our gravy nice
Okay.
and sweet. So if you want to remove the lid, and what I've done there, Karl, from some of the roasts that I've had on the past, like it could be a roast beef, roast lamb and things like that, I've frozen down the leftover gravy and I've frozen that into small little ice cubes. So we've always got a gravy or a sauce on hand at all times.
That's a very good idea.
Yeah. So this is what we're going to do today. I'm going to add that to the, as you can see, I've just nicely chopped an apple up there, and I'm going to get you to add that to the sauce, and then if we have to thin it down a little bit, we'll just add a little bit of apple juice there as well for flavour.
And I guess it doesn't matter what type apple you use.
No, I would use a Macintosh or Red Delicious
Yep.
or something like that.
So we just tip these in here. There we go.
into the
So
sauce.
this gives our gravy a nice little apple flavor.
Yeah, it's going to be very nice to pour over there as well. So, how's that coming?
I'm
Coming good?
already getting
I'm
excited
doing a very
about
good
this.
job.
You're doing a
yes.
very good job of
I'm doing
stirring.
a very good job of stirring, yes.
And then we can just add some breadcrumbs into there, I think now.
I love dishes that have a stuffing.
Yeah.
I don't know, there's something, it's like comfort food,
It
you know?
is.
Really makes me feel good. It's always delicious.
And then what we'll do, we'll get our beautiful pork chops back onto the table. And
Where did you get those? I mean, they're really large pork chops.
What I did, I went to the specialty meat department
Oh.
at Coleman's in Mount Pearl again, and spoke to the butcher there, and I just got him to nicely cut them up for me. So
Okay, so I'd have to ask for that.
yeah, you would do absolutely. But they're on hand at all times, so you know it only takes a couple of minutes while you're doing the rest of your groceries. Away you
Okay.
go.
You're going to put a little pocket in
I'm
there.
just going to make a little cut. I'm just going to take a slice actually
Okay,
through the centre there.
yeah.
So there we go, and then we're just going to spread that back there. All right. And I'm going
So
to
now it's essentially we have two thin pieces of meat, or
One on each
less
side.
thick pieces of meat.
And these are only going to take maybe, at 375, 400 in the oven, and we're using our convection oven there. They're only going to take maybe half an hour to cook.
And it's very important not to overcook, right,
No,
Steve?
no, we certainly don't want to do that.
There's a lot of people overcook pork because they're afraid of it, but there's no need to be afraid of pork. It's all inspected by the
That's right.
health department, and
So do you hear that, Mom? You don't have
Yeah,
to
there you go.
overcook the pork all the time.
yeah. The other white meat, it's very good for you.
The other way.
So I'm just going to grease a little bit of the pan as well on the bottom.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. So what's it like working with a children's hospital? This is a new, relatively new thing for you. 'Cause
Yes.
You've done fundraising for other organizations, and
I used to raise funds for the adult hospital.
right.
And in '02, I came over and raised funds for the children. So it's very different.
Yeah.
There's more emotion, and it's you're just tighter. You're just tighter with the children because you know, in my other role, I never had patients coming down, and at our foundation, we always have children coming in and out of
You're
the office,
situated right there
Yep.
in the heart of the hospital.
Perfect.
So you're constantly running into children, the folks you're raising them funds for.
I know, it's
Yeah.
great. And
Yeah.
the parents come in and they're very thankful, and the children come in and And they keep coming back. Like every year, when they're coming in for the checkups, they always come in and say hello and let us know how well they're doing. So you're really tied.
Yeah,
Like,
that's right.
to it, yeah.
And as you can see, Lynn, like I'd like to get that a little bit moisture, so I'm just going to add a little bit of apple juice there. And what I've done with this as well, when I've made a dressing, even for turkey, if I found it's too dry, the dressing, I'll put a little bit of cranberry juice in there as well. It'll match it up very well.
That's a nice tip.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And I don't want to overcook it because it's going to be cooked in there anyway. So.
Now, Steve and Lynn, I'll ask this to both of you. If you had a youngster who was a little bit fussy, maybe didn't want to eat something like that, what are some tips for getting kids to eat properly?
Bribe.
Bribe. Yeah, definitely bribe it. But a tip for the kids, I'll maybe put a little bit of breading over it, to be quite honest, on the outside, so it's nicely crystallized on that kind of a thing. So
Yeah.
they're used to them fingers and all that kind of thing,
Yeah.
like the chicken fingers or whatever. So
Yeah.
I would add that to it. So.
But the apple too.
Well, if it's not in the sauce, you can do some fresh apples as a garnish around the outside of it. Perfect. Yeah.
Disguise it as KFC.
There you go.
I'll just turn that off now because I think that's well enough, and away we go. And we're going to be serving, I'm not going to be serving any potatoes with it today, Lynn. I'm going to be serving just some steamed broccoli there. I've got some there for Karl, and he's been talking so much he never watched the water to be boiled.
Sorry. I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for instruction.
Okay, well there you go
I'm
then.
waiting for instruction, okay. Here's your broccoli.
There we go, and it's
What do you like here? Actually, I love broccoli. George Bush Sr. doesn't like it, but I do.
So I was told, yeah.
It's my favorite veg.
So how did you know that?
Veggies.
How did you know that he didn't like broccoli?
Because I'm a font of useless information.
Well, there you go.
No, he made a comment about it when he was president, and the broccoli farmers marched on Washington. I think they dumped thousands of tons of broccoli on the White House lawn.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it was a big deal at the time, yeah. That was Mr. George Bush Sr.
So I'm just going to brush them with a little bit of oil, season them nicely with salt and pepper, and then we're going to dust them with a little bit of paprika.
Oh, paprika.
Just for a little bit of colour. Away we go, like so. And we'll put a little bit of apple juice in there as well for the cooking purposes. And then we'll just pop them in the oven there for about 30 minutes or so. But through the magic of TV, you've always got some ready. So let's just.
This is where we have to get out of the way, Lynn.
All right.
Here we go. There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
And voila, there we go.
Lovely.
Very nice.
Lovely.
Okay. What do you think of
Back
it?
in.
Okay. Don't go too far away.
Excellent.
Then we're ready, and then we'll just
They
serve that
look
with the.
amazing.
I didn't say 30
Yummy.
minutes in the oven, and away we went.
Absolutely amazing. Yeah. Okay. The broccoli is
Done, and I think that
here.
sauce is just a little bit too thick there, Karl. I'm going to get you to put a little bit of apple juice in there because we have it, and
We're gonna zing it up a bit.
zing it up a
What
bit.
is it that Emerald says? Kick it up a notch. Yeah. We're gonna kick it up a notch.
There we go.
Okay.
So how long have you been at the Janeway now, you say, Lynn?
So you were on the board of
Yeah, I was on the
That's when I
board.
went there.
Yes, yeah.
I went there in.
You used to tell me what to do then.
Yes,
didn't
that's
you?
right. How am I doing?
You're doing pretty good.
2002.
I think everything's under control here. I'm gonna go down to the wine cellar and pick out some wine to go with these beautiful pork chops. Okay, I'll see you in a second.
Okay.
Fantastic. I missed it.
Hey, Daddy! Congratulations!
Thank you. How are you?
Yeah,
Good to see
great.
you.
So, a healthy baby, boy, girl?
Boy,
Boy!
here, I'll show
What?
you. Have a
Oh
look.
gosh, look at that!
Liam,
He is so cute, cute as a button. Wow,
he's doing well.
that's
His
great.
mama,
I'm really happy
relax.
for you.
Thank you.
That's great.
Thank you
Well,
very
I'm
much.
sure-
And with tradition, of course.
Ooh, a
Thank you.
cigar for me. Oh, Romeo and Julieta.
Only the best, right?
Cuba's finest.
So
So,
first.
can I light this up now?
Well, you got a smoking room. We'll smoke one later in the smoking room. How about that?
We will.
Good choice.
Okay. Anyway, we have, speaking of children, we have the executive director of the Janeway Children's Hospital Foundation upstairs,
Excellent.
Lynn Sparkes, and Steve has done a fabulous stuffed pork chop.
Pork.
It's got pecan savory, Newfoundland savory, and breadcrumbs and apricots. Great.
Okay,
great dish.
Pork, I mean, pork you can go with anything, but you know what, let's do a few, let's see here. There's a few different options you can do with pork. I mean, realistically, pork is sort of a bland, I hate to say bland, but it's a neutral meat for the most part. There's not a lot of intense flavor in pork. You usually season it to make it whatever
It's the other
flavor you
white
like.
meat.
The other white meat, indeed. So, I mean, there's a whole gamut of things you can do from red to white. But for that dish, I mean, if you're doing some fruits, I believe, with it as well. And
Yeah, a little bit of
savory.
apricot, dried apricot. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a fruity-based dish for the most part. So I like to stick to whites. You can do something like the Hugo Gewürztraminer, or any Gewürztraminer in that sense, because there is a bit of a nice sweetness to it, but there's a little bit of spice and pepper to Gewürztraminer. It's a different wine. Some people love it, some people aren't too fussy about it, but it goes really well with certain foods like that, and savory foods especially.
I like it.
You could also do something, now this you're looking around $25 from Gewürz, $20-25 for that range of wines. There's also a Chilean, Castel Apostol. These are the same people who make Grand Marnier, the French family, but have vineyards in Chile. And their Chardonnay is really good as well, a little bit full-bodied, buttery, really nice, rich wine to go with the dish. And then I know your buddy Andrew, this is his favorite, is rosé. He loves rosé wines. This is Touraine from the Loire Valley, Cabernet Franc, a little bit of Cinsault as well. It's sort of the best of both worlds, is what Andrew would say too. It's a little bit of white, but you got the flavor of red, good acidity, but nice fruit as well. And it's a great wine for things like vegetables, asparagus, stuff like that. That's tough to match with wine. Works out really well.
Rosé is essentially a white wine that's tinted a little bit by the skin of the grape, right?
Well, exactly. I mean, the skins on the grapes, I mean, you can make any wine white because all the skins are either dark or they're light. So this, a little bit more skin contact with this.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to go with the Gewürztraminer.
Excellent choice.
Because I really like this wine, and I don't drink it very often. So, and with these pork chops, I think it's a
it'll go
choice.
great.
Anyway, thanks for the cigar. Congratulations again.
Excellent. We'll see you in the smoking room.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Well, Lynn, as you can see, it's all ready, and it only took 30 minutes in the oven, the pork to cook, and the reason being because we cut it nice and thinly in half, and all the dressing was put into there.
Nice.
Karl, how are you?
I'm fine. Now, this was worth waiting for.
What, the wine or the food?
Oh, the food. Talk about the presentation there. Look, you've outdone yourself, Stephen.
Yeah,
it looks
perfect.
wonderful.
No, thank you there, Karl. See what we've got there, the beautiful dressing inside. You can see the nuts in there, the pecans, and you can see the apricots as well. It's beautiful.
So you didn't pour the gravy over the top of it? You
Actually,
I
poured it to the side, actually, with the apple, so it's gives it a nice presentation for us.
I think that we need to get Lynn's opinion on this pork chop now.
We certainly do.
I think you do, yes.
Yeah. Just dig in and tell us what you think of it.
I'm just going to try the stuffing.
Oh,
I'm
very good.
curious about this stuffing.
Because you're a stuffing person.
I am a very stuffing person.
Very good.
Not a stuffy person. There's nobody on this program who's stuffy.
Very good.
What do you think? Should I attempt it? I'm going to taste the stuffing too.
It's delicious.
Perfect. So you say
It's
this
really
year
good.
This year is the 25th anniversary for the telethon. And
Yep, 25 years this year.
Oh goodness.
So what we're going to do this year is we're going to take the camera, like everybody just sees the telethon, sees you on presenting, and it's all scripted and everything. We've got about, during that weekend, we have about 1,000 volunteers.
Wow. I had no idea.
Yeah, about 1,000 volunteers over the weekend. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the cameras and we're going to go behind the scenes. And you know that turkey dinner that you usually have?
I was going to say, some of those volunteers actually cook.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
So Delphine and her girls, so we'll go down and we'll interview them and ask them how long they've been doing it, and then the guys that are rolling pennies.
Lynn, thanks for being on the show. Now, Lynn is going to give us a wonderful marinade recipe for lamb, and also this fabulous recipe for the stuffed pork chops you can find on centraldairies.com. Just go to the One Chef One Critic page. Thank you, my dear, for being on our show.
Cheers.
Excellent. Thanks
Cheers.
for having me.
For more of Chef Steve Watson's recipes, our recommended wine lists, and guest recipes, log on to centraldairies.com. Have a recipe that you want to share with us? Send it along to onechef.onecritic@rci.rogers.com. Be sure to attach your name, address, and contact number, and you and a guest could be eligible to win a dinner for two at one of our city's finest restaurants. Let us know what you think of the show at 757-9600.
When storing meats in the refrigerator, always store them on the bottom shelf so the juices don't go on other foods.
And contaminate the other foods.
Exactly.
Steve, the mango is a very popular fruit in Indian cuisine, and I've got a fabulous mango dessert here. This is called mango kulfi. It's essentially mango ice cream, and it's surrounded by some chopped mango.
Wonderful. And something favourite to me is milk. So we have a milk ball here, which is deep fried with a sugar syrup with it.
And now we're going to go from something very traditional, like my mango kulfi, to something a little bit untraditional, but it's interesting nonetheless. We're going to talk about molecular cooking. I'm at the kitchens of the College of the North Atlantic, the culinary program here with Chef James Dillon, and we're talking about molecular gastronomy. Now, what does that mean to you?
To me, it's just taking a scientific approach to everyday ingredients to create a different, a dining atmosphere, different senses, different textures. That's pretty much it. It's just, pushing the boundaries and stretching everyone's mind and imagination.
James, you say everyday ingredients, but what we have over here doesn't exactly look everyday to me. At least the names don't look everyday. What do we have over here? What are these?
Most of these guys, they're just what we call hydrocolloids. There's some calcium and some sodiums, but for the most part, they're everyday. Technically, they are everyday ingredients. If you look in most of your processed stuff, this is where you would find it.
Now, you've been doing something here which is very interesting. You've got a kind of a syringe thing there. Just explain to me what you're doing.
This is what we call spherification. Here in this container, we have a strawberry puree that has some sodium alginate in it, and you suck it up in a syringe, squeeze it into just a regular teaspoon, and then when you just lay it in the bath, and as you release it, you can see that it's starting to form a gel already. And this is right. So then when it comes out, you have a gel on the outside, and pretty much you end up with one of these guys. This is my idea of a strawberry cocktail. We put it in this little spoon, and then we'll put a little bit of a vodka soda on it.
Well, James, that definitely is a different looking cocktail. Thank you. Now we're going to go over to Brian Abbott and talk to him. Chef Brian Abbott, what are you doing?
Good day, sir. I am tenderizing a piece of flat iron steak. Basically what we're going to do, we're going to put some Activa on this, which is commonly known as meat glue. And we're going to just brush this lightly like this. And then we're going to roll it up. It's nice.
So you're taking this piece of meat and you're basically producing another form.
I'm producing another form, yeah. I can make this into medallions. Now I take this, I'm going to put a couple holes in it just to let some of the natural juices come out of it. So we're going to vacuum seal this. And what vacuum sealing does, it basically seals all the natural flavors that's in the meat. All the air sucked out. So basically now we're going to put it in the bath. We can cook it in here for about 2.5 hours at 58 degrees Celsius. That will come out as the most tender piece of meat that you ever had, and it will be still rare. So we have our finished product here. Now what I would normally do with this, I would sear this in a hot frying pan.
Yep.
But I'll show you what it's like, just to still get the caramelization that we all desire. It'll melt in your mouth.
Thanks very much, Brian.
Thank you.
Really interesting.
All right, thank you.
I love mango.
There was no shortage of food today, was there, Karl?
There was not.
Oh my
we
goodness.
had a great time here at the Taj Mahal, and we want to thank the owners and staff here at Taj Mahal for being so kind to us today. We had a great show. The molecular cooking item was very interesting.
Little different.
Way of the future.
It is.
Could be. Anyway, that's it for this edition of
One Chef.
One Critic. So enjoy yourself.